then. There wasn't not a significant amount as far as the population of the planet was concerned. Now, these release greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. CO2, which is a natural chemical occurrence due to life for all mammals on this planet. Yeah, just being alive produces carbon dioxide, CO2, on this planet. Just saying. So every time you exhale, every time I say a word, carbon dioxide comes out. Your cat and your dog, little Fluffy and Fifi over there are polluting the planet by being alive. Just so you know. Now, the study's scientists used 25 climate computer models to test their theories. Now, the problem with computer models is that it'll spit out anything that you want it to spit out by what you input, the data that you input. So if you input improper data, it's going to give you improper results. So this whole notion, everybody says, well, the computer model said so. Well, that doesn't mean jack. Again, looking beyond the facade. And actually, see, people don't look beyond the facade. They hear, oh yeah, the computer models say. Well, what were the statistics that were programmed into the computer in order for this particular grain, if you will, of model outcome comes from? What did they put in? What was the information that they put in? Was it accurate or was it twisted? Was it slanted? Most likely it was twisted and slanted. Was it inaccurate or was it accurate? Most likely it was inaccurate. But we don't get those questions about the input. We only hear about the output. But the input is more important than the output because the input directly influences and tells you what the output is going to be like. So if you input stuff that shows that man has nothing to do with global warming or man-made climate change, it's just nature in and of itself doing whatever she's doing, then the computer models are going to spit out information that says, well, man is not really the cause of it. But if you input information that is skewed towards man being the cause and the culprit, well, the computer models are going to basically say the same thing. So it's all about what is put in those computer models. It isn't about anything else. Nothing else. But we're not supposed to look beyond the facade. So, behind the curtain, nothing over here. Don't pay attention to that man behind the curtain. So, remember the Wizard of Oz? Yeah. By the way, can I admit, I don't like the Wizard of Oz. I know that is probably going to get me in trouble with a whole lot of people. I cannot remember the last time I actually watched it because I don't like it. I don't, and you know what? I'm in New Hampshire here, and I know that I'm supposed to be, shortly. I'll be doing some stuff with the show over in Vermont. But I got to tell you, I also am sick of the movie Sound of Music. I don't watch that either whenever it comes on, and people are, how can you not? There's nothing wrong with the stories. It's just, the stories are actually, the power of human beings, and doing for yourself and being responsible for yourself and all that kind of stuff and yada, yada, yada. Those are good stories, but I'm just sick of watching them. I don't care if I ever see either one of those movies ever again in my life. I don't. I'm not going to. I do not like The Sound of Music, and I do not like The Wizard of Oz. It's not just that I'm sick of watching them. I just don't like them. And I know the Von Trapps are, they're big Vermonters now. They live in Vermont, but I'm sorry. I don't like their, it's a very nice life story, but I just don't like the movie version. How's that? Wizard of Oz, I know people should probably shut up about it now, but I don't like, and something else? I haven't seen Furious 7, by the way. I haven't seen it. Not to mention, by the way, if we're talking about movies and we're seeing all these wonderful movie stars talking about man-made global climate change and how we need to do stuff, do you know one of the biggest waste out there is movies? The production of movies takes a lot of energy. It wastes a lot of materials. I mean, you're blowing up stuff just to blow stuff up so you can film it. How is that? You're not recycling any of that. I mean, that's purely hypocrisy. If you're an actor and you're against, you believe in man-made global warming, then you can't be an actor. You cannot be an actor in major motion pictures. You can't. Because you burn, all those cars and trucks and everything they're used in the production of the movie, not to mention all the stuff that's in the movie, your car's driving around, especially if you're racing and stuff like that. For what? There's no real audience in the stands. There's nobody really paying for it. You're spending all that money and burning all that fuel just so you can get $25 million in a payday? That's hypocritical. I know we're not supposed to look beyond the facade, Rod. Don't look but it's true. You're a hypocrite. So you got Brad Pitt running around there talking about, look at Katrina. We can't have any more Katrinas. And he's doing all this kind of stuff. Well, he's, flying around everywhere. I don't think Brad Pitt flies coach anywhere, does he? And now his wife, Angelina Jolie, she's becoming this big-time movie director. Well, that means she's got to be flying around to locations all over the place. And then you had what's his face? The new Batman's best friend. In the Bourne Identity. Well, in order for him to film the Bourne Identity, they filmed a lot on location. So what do they have to do? They have to fly a whole crew all over the world just so they can make a movie. No other reason, just to make a movie so they can make money off of it. Now, to do that, they're burning an awful lot of fuel. And doesn't fuel and cars and all that kind of stuff, doesn't that kind of stuff contribute to global warming or man-made climate change? Just saying. But we're told that we are the problem. The regular everyday citizen, we're the problem. But, the people who say that we're the problem, they can run around in private jets and, limousines and make movies and waste all that energy by making a movie just so we can be entertained, so they can make a $20 or $25 million payday. Yeah, and then go ahead and tell us that we're being, jerks for driving to the movie theater to see their movie. That's what it's all about, folks. I know we're not supposed to look beyond the facade. I know looking beyond the curtain is not acceptable, right? I get it. But hey, guess what? I may not have looked in my parents' closets for Christmas gifts because I didn't care. Yeah, I was excited like every other kid, but I could always wait. I didn't look. I didn't try to peek. But on this stuff, I will peek behind the curtain every single time. Every time. I mean, I get goosebumps when I see a new curtain in front of me, man. Those liberals throw up a new curtain. I get goosebumps because I'm going to look behind that curtain. I know they don't want me to look behind it, but I'm going to look behind that curtain, man. I'm going to pull that sucker back and I'm going to, aha! Look, there's the truth. I hate that. The left hates that. Yeah, I get all goosebumpy excited when there's a new curtain put in front of me, man, because I know there's going to be some juicy truth behind it. I don't know what, but I'm going to find it, and then I'm going to talk about it. And that just gives me a big grin. See, if you actually could see me right now, I got a big grin on my face. I'm like those fake tooth polishing commercials. Make your teeth white as can be, man. I'm so happy about pulling back the curtain of hypocrisy on the left. It's fun. Even though sometimes they make me feel like I want to smash their face in. Just saying. Hey, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is out there on the stump. He's out there stumping, and this is a Business Insider story, and he's I think Ted Cruz just slapped some liberals upside the head with a stinky fish. And I'm not talking about a smelly fish. I'm talking about a stanky fish. And Ted Cruz says, it's probably a salmon or something that he smacked him with. Ted Cruz said, no, when I read this, I actually had to stop and think. And I was trying to remember if I ever saw what Ted Cruz says that he's never seen. And I was trying to remember I was trying hard. And for the life of me, it doesn't mean they don't exist. For the life of me up here in New England, I have yet to see one. I can't remember ever seeing one. Ted Cruz says, I don't think I've ever seen a Hispanic panhandler. I don't either. I don't think I've ever seen an Asian panhandler. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't exist. But, he says, I don't think I've ever seen. And I can back him up with my own, experience by saying, I don't recall ever seeing. And I want to remember. I mean, I think I probably would have, but I don't remember. So presidential candidate and Senator Ted Cruz said on Wednesday that he's never seen a Hispanic person begging for money on the street. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a Hispanic panhandler, and the reason is in our community it would be shameful to be begging on the street, Cruz said, recalling a conversation he once had with a Latino businessman on the topic. He may have a point there, because I cannot recall seeing a Latino panhandler, and I cannot recall ever seeing an Asian panhandler. Those people that are on the street corners or at the entrance to shopping plazas, holding cardboard signs up, saying we'll work for food or have kids, please, any disabled vet and blah blah blah. And half that, at least half of them are lying to you. Look, I've seen them actually, a fight over street corners, and I've seen them actually go out and get in, fairly new or brand new cars and drive away. And these people aren't hurting. Some of them are. Understand that. Some of them are. Most of them aren't. They just need to go out and get a job, but they figure they can make some money doing this, and often they do. And there are people, that have panhandling. They can make, $300, $400, $500 a day just off the charity of generous Americans. That's pretty sad, folks. That's pretty sad. But he's probably going to get lambasted for that. You know what? I can back him up. I say I've never seen. I can't remember seeing a Latino panhandler, and I cannot recall seeing an Asian one either. Well, it is what. Catch you tomorrow, folks. Have a great night. Until then, I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out.